everybody. Welcome to another episode of Let Fear Bounce. This is Kim Langling, your host, and I am so glad that you are here today, spending a little bit of your time and your day with myself and my special guest on Let Fear Bounce. Today is Sara F. Hathaway. Now, she is someone who wears many hats, folks, and she wears them all with grit and grace. She's an author, a passionate survivalist, a dedicated wife and mom, and a fierce advocate for mental and physical preparedness. Her powerful fiction series, The Changing Earth, Sara weaves thrilling stories that not only entertain, but also educate readers about the importance of resilience and self reliance. When she's not writing or enjoying time with her family, Sara leads self defense and anti kidnapping seminars, empowering others to feel strong and secure. She also brings stories to life as the producer of the Changing Earth audio drama and the host of the Changing Earth podcast. Sara, welcome to Let Fear Bounce.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
I've been excited about this because, soon as I saw that you were a self defense and anti kidnapping trainer, and you put on seminars and all kinds of stuff, I just went, "Ooh, got to have her on."
I
Because
love it.
I fully agree that everybody should have a little bit of that in their background.
Oh, there's so many people that become victims that don't need to be.
Right. Right.
Mhm.
Or would have a better chance of changing or diffusing the situation a smidge.
A smidge.
You
If they
know,
had
'cause
just a
all
nugget
all
of understanding.
circumstances are different.
Yes.
But I love that that's what you do, and that's where your passion is.
Thank
I
you.
think it's awesome.
Yeah.
Um, I
The
have self
Lord
defense
kind
and
of tapped me on the shoulder and was like, "Hey, I didn't give you all these martial arts skills and this urge to, I'm a woman. So obviously it's a little odd to be a fighter, right? You tend to put men more in that box. And
stereotypically, yeah, but
right, and over 40 and still training MMA with 20-year-olds and whatnot. So it's a little out of the box, but
and I
uh,
appreciate that because I'm the same way, and I'm in your business.
right, right. I had an incident where I was a victim and I decided that'll never happen again, ever. So I dedicated myself to training. And then the Lord was like, okay, well, I didn't give you the skill for you to just hide it under a hat and keep it all to yourself. And I was writing my books and I started researching Tim Ballard, who is the guy who was featured basically in The Sound of Freedom and was so appalled by the human trafficking situation in our world that I was like, I can make a difference. I can help people. So many women were like, I could never do what your character does in your books. I'm too old to do that. No, no,
Nope.
no. There's so many things that you can do as a female, as an older person, as a child to make sure that you go home safe every night. And so that's where I really wanted to focus. And that's why I really, they're not easy classes to teach, honestly. My self-defense one is, it's fun. We get hands-on stuff and everybody's moving. But the anti-kidnapping class, the devil taps you on the shoulder. Do you really want to do this? Here's all these stories of these people and what happened to them. And you're sharing this information. And yeah, I do want to do this. I look them in the eyes every day and say, God put me on this mission. And so, no matter how emotionally challenging it is to bring this information forward, we have to talk about it to end it. And so, one of the things that I recommend, the thing that's going to help you the most every single day to keep you safe is to just be situationally aware, right? We
Yeah.
walk around staring at our phones. And, we used to have a thing called an answering machine. And the answering machine took messages for you while you were busy till you got back home, right? And so my objective was let's get people off their phones. Let's get their heads up. Let's get them looking around because your assailant doesn't want to see you or doesn't want you to know that you've seen them,
Right.
right? They don't want to look you in the eyes. They don't want to be in a lineup and be able to get picked out. So it's really, really important that you have your head up, you're aware, put the phone away. You'll be able to get your messages when you get home. All those texts, all those voicemails, all your social media stuff will still be there when you're either in your car safely with the doors locked or you get back home. Then you can focus on that. But when you're out in public, that's one of the biggest things I can recommend is just being situationally aware. So, how do we improve situational awareness? I play games with my kids. So we count how many blue cars do we see on the way to the store,
Mm-hmm.
right? How many employees do we see in the store while we're in the store, right? We're counting. How many did you count? How many did, we match notes when we get outside. But that makes you put your head up and start looking at the world around you instead of just melding into the world around you as the next victim with your head down.
Well, in today's world, there is no safe space.
Mhm.
You can live in a small town or a big city, and it just seems like it's so prevalent, or it seems more prevalent simply because there is social media now and it's in our faces more.
Right.
It's always been there. We just didn't know about a lot of it, I think.
Yes,
Um,
I would agree.
and myself experienced an incident, how
Mhm.
you worded it earlier.
Right? Uh-huh.
But when I had
Good
my
for you
daughter, my
that you got
thought
away.
was, you know what? That's never happening to her. Or I will do
Yeah.
my damnedest to make sure it does not.
Yes.
I was probably a little more overprotective than I needed to be at times, but I didn't care.
You're drawing on personal experience.
Right. So we did the same thing when we would be, and mine was always parking lots because I still get a little PTSD going in parking lots. But I'm always, I'm like, honey, we have to always be aware of what's around us,
Yes.
you know, and what cars are right by our car right now as we're parking. And when you're pulling into park somewhere, what kind of vehicle are you parking beside?
Hmm.
That was a big one.
I
Parking.
always like to park by where you put the carts back
That's where I, yeah,
because then you know one side is pretty good,
right,
right?
right.
It's also
And
a
that's
high
what I taught
traffic
my
area,
daughter too. And then
right?
the joke is, well, it's kind of a joke now because she's older and has her own daughter, but I know that she'll be doing the same thing. Like, never park on the side of a van where the door opens.
Right.
You know,
Yeah. You need to
'Cause
be in a
we
high
call those
traffic area.
kidnapper vans.
Yes.
You know?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
No doubt.
And
And parking lots is one of the areas that's funny that your story, I mean, it's not funny, but it's ironic that your story is from a parking lot because during my class, it's one of the areas that I really, really target in on. It's just so many people moving and so much going on. And people are like, well, I can hit my car alarm. No, you can't.
no,
Nobody's going to care about your car
no,
alarm.
and that's another thing. When your car
Mhm.
alarm goes off, everybody just goes, "Oh, someone accidentally hit their panic button."
Oh, yeah, shut that thing off. It's
Right.
annoying.
No one pays attention to them anymore.
Right. Yeah. So
And
that's
I'm guilty of it
not
too.
a good game
I'll
plan.
look, but
And
then I just
then,
keep going,
yep.
you
It's
know?
not like you were really priming yourself to go see if there was something wrong out there.
Right.
You're just like,
Right.
who's doing that? What noise is that? Let's
Right.
get rid of
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
And another thing for myself anyway, I look between the cars as I'm walking to my car.
Hmm.
My head's like a swivel,
That's perfect. That's
And then,
perfect. You have
I always
adapted.
you want to look under too.
Yes, you do.
And I
Absolutely.
think teaching self-defense and stuff like that, because most people will freeze.
Yes.
You've got less than, what is it, less than 7 seconds
Yeah.
typically.
3 seconds. 3 seconds to have your weapon in your hand.
And but
Oh,
if your brain even turns on
yes.
to
Yes.
do that. So just being situationally aware, you're so ahead of the game.
Right. Because you're already emotionally preparing yourself for a possible incident. And then that's another reason why I keep training martial arts, why I highly recommend people go. There's martial arts schools all over our country. So
Mhm.
you can't tell me you can't find one. Right. I don't
Well,
believe it.
two dear friends of mine are black belts and one's a master. So,
Right.
you
And I
know,
don't really care what type of sport it
everybody
is
knows
either.
someone who knows something.
Right. Yes. Yeah. And I don't really care like what style it is. Everybody's like, oh, what style should I do and everything. And I can go into that. But the plain and simple is any martial arts that you take, you're going to be in a situation where you are presented with that adrenaline. And that adrenaline is what freezes you in the moment.
Mm.
So if you get used to facing that adrenaline, then when you're faced with it in real life, it's still going to be crazy scary. But at least you've already practiced with it a little. You've already dabbled in like, my body knows this feeling and I know I can keep going.
Right. Right.
So in a parking lot, I have on my keychain, I have a spike that is a window breaker.
Hmm.
They're not legal in all states. I'm just going to throw that out there. I'm in Texas. A lot of things are legal here. I think I can walk around with a sword if I wanted to, right? Which is why I'm here. So I carry a breaker that literally has a spike on the end on my keychain. And that way, if somebody wanted to approach me, well, that's going in their eye or it's going in their throat. The minute they put their hands on me, of course, I'm not going to do anything, just irrational. That's
Right.
another great thing about being a martial artist. You learn that in a fight, you both lose. So you don't want the fight.
Right.
You don't want it. You both are going to lose. So you're not going to be, if you're properly trained with a good instructor, you're not going to be this crazy psycho like, oh, I'm using my martial arts skills on you for no
Right.
reason.
Right.
Right. But I carry that icebreaker. Now, if that's illegal in your state, they sell a product called an astronaut pen. And the astronaut pen is metal and you could literally write with it upside down, around in the rain, whatever. So it's a great tool to have, like if you have to come up on an accident and start writing things down in the rain or whatever. But more importantly, that's a great tool that you can take anywhere. You can take it into any building where they don't allow a weapon. It's just a pen, right? And it's metal. And you can hold that in your hand as well. And then if you don't have anything else, your key is another great tool. You put that in someone's eye, you put that through a man's Adam's apple,
Right.
right? And then I teach how to destroy eardrums and gouge out eyes and things like this
Yeah.
because
All the
when
fun
it comes
stuff.
down to, right? Well, when it comes down to it, you need to get yourself out of that situation with as little impact to your body as possible.
Right. And you can't be queasy about it.
No,
Because
no.
I know that there were some folks in a few of the classes, because a dear friend of mine, a Vietnam vet, uh, taught me. And I remember him saying, you can't be one of those women that's going to be queasy when I tell you, this, you're going to take your thumb and you're going to pop their eyes right out.
Yeah,
And he goes, and that's not just, that takes some force. But if it's you
right.
with them,
That's it.
you're going to do what you need to do. You can't be queasy about it. And there were folks, other folks that were like, "Oh, I couldn't do it."
Oh, I
And
can't
it's
do
like,
that.
you know what? You don't know what you can do
Yeah,
unless you're in and God willing, you never have to be in that situation.
amen. Yes.
But it's always good to learn it, to
Yep.
know
And
it.
have those tools in your toolbox. One of
Right.
the coolest experiences is so I teach out at North Carolina at an event called Prepper Camp every year. It's at the end of September. Awesome event. And I have people that come every year. And so I had this elderly couple, a little bit older, right? Probably 60s, late 60s. And he was attacked and he had just had knee surgery. And so here he is on the ground. And she comes out of the car loaded for bear. She's going to do whatever to protect her husband, right? Against this guy who's the assailant, right? And she just kept remembering it's only 10% circumstance, 90% attitude. And her attitude, her mental being
Yeah.
ruled the day and backed this guy off her husband till help could arrive. And she came back the next year and was just like, Sarah, I did it. Like, I backed him away and I didn't have to like do anything physical, but just the mental attitude of he was not going to do this anymore. And there was nothing I was going to not do to make sure that would happen. And that guy knew it.
Sometimes if you let your crazy out, that might scare them.
Yes. Yeah. And they're going, okay, so human beings will always choose the path of least resistance. Always,
Yep.
always. We are just creatures that do that. If we have a path, we're going to walk on the path. We're not going to walk in the mud. We're going to walk on the path. Same with attacking people, same with robbing houses, all of this. We're going to pick the house, the person that is the path of least resistance. So you having your head up, head on a swivel in that parking lot, I bet you didn't before, but you do now,
Oh, I do now. Yeah.
right? You do now. And just doing that change, like I say, 90% your attitude versus 10% situation. And with you knowing I have these tools in my toolbox, I am ready to gouge out eyes if I have to, as horrible as it sounds, but I am not going to be the victim. You
Right.
will not be the victim.
Right. No.
And if you are, I pity the fool,
Yeah.
because yeah, you're ready for it.
That's, and I wish, I know that there's, I know I've talked to a lot of women, and a lot of women who have went through what I went through,
Mhm.
similar circumstances.
Right.
And it's all, you wish at that time that you would have had a few more of those tools in your tool belt,
Right.
because when certain things happen, I was very young when this happened. It was, it was a long time ago.
Mhm.
Um, so I've had years to build up my
How
toolbox.
old were you? I'm just curious.
18.
18. Yep. There you go. 12 to 18, prime age to be snagged
Right.
into the world. You're very lucky.
Oh, I am. I
80% of
know.
people who are taken don't come back.
I know that.
Yeah.
Yes, I am
So
very
you're
lucky.
blessed.
Yes.
You had an angel on your shoulder.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yes, I
For
do.
sure.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
So, I've been able over the years to build up a toolbox, and there are now, I want your opinion on this, because I mean, I live with PTSD from that.
Yes. Yeah.
And um I manage it very well.
Mhm.
But if it's in the evening and I'm in a parking lot and I'm by myself, any little thing can trigger me.
Yes.
Any little movement outside. I mean, it's so, I'm like, okay, Kim, be situationally aware, but be situationally aware in a safe way.
So you're not panicking yourself.
Not, yeah, not putting myself
Mhm.
into panic mode. And that's a whole nother set of tools
So I have a
you
friend,
carry.
Brian Duff, and he's an ex-Army Ranger, medic. He's seen a lot of things on the battlefield.
Oh, I'm sure.
And yeah, and been through a lot of circumstances. And he struggled with PTSD really, really strongly. His show is called Mind for Survival, if you're interested in checking it out. He's a great guy. And I personally struggled with anger issues, which can run a lot similar to PTSD, because once you get clutched by it, it's hard to escape that emotion, right? It's hard to climb yourself back out of that emotion. So it's one thing that I've really concentrated on my life is, okay, that upset me. How do I continue on with a good day
Right. Right.
without,
Emotional memory is powerful.
yes, very powerful. So the key that I learned from Brian is to recognize that feeling as it's coming on,
Yep.
to give it a name, to identify it. Because once you put a name, once you identify that, you can go, oh,
Not
I
today.
see you. You're
Yeah.
not allowed. I see you. And you're not allowed to have that effect on me.
Yep.
And so that's, yeah, he's been really great, because talking with him, I was doing shows on women and their trauma, and how, because in my story, Erica is actually taken captive, and she goes through this ordeal where she's drugged out and mind warped, and she eventually does get free. Sorry, spoilers, but you guys gotta go read the story. um and so she's dealing with that emotional, she can't just snap back into her life the way it was. And not that it was easy before, because she's this leadership role and everybody needs her to lead, but now she's dealing with this PTSD. And I was thinking the same thing about women, the 20% that are actually rescued, not just women, but women, children, the 20% that are rescued. What, you just, oh, here you go. Just jump back into your life
Right.
now.
Yeah, you're home
How,
safe. Okay.
yeah. How do you do that? And so Brian's work is great. For really, some that he really struggled with, and then shares his stories so that other people can use that. And like I said, I found it really, really profound for anger management as well, to be able to handle that.
Oh, absolutely.
Hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I've built up a heck of a toolbox over the years. You
Right?
know?
Yeah.
And
There's like,
I'm actually I started writing a box
Mhm.
toolbox. I started writing a book,
Yeah.
and it's all around the toolbox
Yes.
and those tools that you can pull out. You know,
Right.
the specific tools that you can pull out. So yeah, I actually started that this year. So that's something. It's a work in progress, but
I understand the work in progress
I've
to
been feeling very strongly nudged
do that.
by the big guy to, Kim, it's time to share some of these tools.
Yes.
Because I'll be like,
So
oh, time to bring out the hammer,
I've been doing Changing Earth podcast since 2016. And every time I did an episode, I would do a blog, you know. So there is just a plethora of information on my website, changingearthseries.com, that you can go to. And I've explored all kinds of the topics as far as leadership, as far as the PTSD, all of this, so many topics. Because how I write, I want to teach people these skills, not only survival skills, not only self-defense skills, but how we used to interact with our planet, the relationship that we had there with our planet of we hunt and we grow and life comes from our planet and we give it back to our planet. So all of that is very important to me. And my favorite author, Gina M. Aywell, she wrote the Children of the Earth books, which is Clan of the Cave Bear. It was like big in the 70s, right?
okay, yeah,
So she's got a whole series and she teaches herbal medicine and archaeological knowledge. All of this stuff is absolutely true. I've looked it up, all woven into this fiction story. And I was like, wow, what a cool way to learn. So when I went to write my fiction story, I was like, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to teach people through my fiction so that not only do they get this awesome story, but now they have tools for their toolbox,
yeah. No,
right?
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's really,
I'm betting that you're a person that's got like a go bag
oh, yeah. Got
and
my go bag.
a fully stocked pantry
We do have a fully stocked
that
pantry.
you rotate.
Uh-huh. So, as far as supplies and stuff go, it is much more important to have tools here than it is stuff in hand. If you have all the stuff in the world, but you have no idea how to survive once you walk outside of your house,
Right.
you're done.
Right.
If you have the best go bag in the whole world, but you can't carry that thing for 3 miles, you're done.
Or you don't know how to use or whatever half of what's in
Half
it.
of it is in there. Pepper
You
spray
just
is the
got
same way.
this list and went and
Yeah.
bought everything and shoved it in a bag and said, "Got myself a go bag."
Right. Right. So it's tools up here. I
Right.
also lived in Northern California and in wildfire country. And I now live in tornado country. So I'm also an insurance agent. So I
Oh,
know what's
okay.
covered on a policy and what's not covered on a policy. And guess what? Food is covered kind of in the right circumstance. So if you have all that stuff stacked up in your house and a wildfire comes along, just boop, good luck proving to your insurance company, like, oh, no, no, I'm a preparedness person and I had like $8,000 worth of
Right.
food.
Well, and
And
some
they're like,
people would.
"Mm,
Yeah.
right, right. And it is doable. Don't get me wrong. Like it is covered in the long run, but I really got to the point where I started out as far as like my family and I are going to the woods. I know how to survive in the woods. We're going to go to the woods. We're going to hang out because within the first 6 months of like a grid down situation, 80% of the population will be gone.
Yeah, because they won't have, or they'll just start
Well,
looting and raiding and it'll be
one
a,
in three people's on a type of medication as well.
oh,
So
right.
if
Right.
you're relying upon a medication to stay alive, well, that's,
And
you know,
that's hard because it's not, you can't really, that's a good point you brought up because I'm insulin dependent.
mhm,
I
yeah,
wasn't always, but
right.
since 5 years ago, I am now.
Yeah,
I have a rare form of diabetes.
yeah.
No idea why all of a sudden it just showed up. You
That's a
know?
very challenging one. Kat Ellis, she and also Nicole Pellion, both wonderful herbalists. And there are certain herbals that can replace insulin. Now, would I say, like, oh, today you should go out and get those
Right.
herbs and get up? No. However, it's never a bad idea to have a backup plan.
Oh,
Two
no,
is
absolutely.
one,
No, I
one is
agree.
none,
Because
three is
yeah, there's
better.
certain things that you can't stockpile.
Right. Insulin's one of them.
Right.
So that's why it's like, okay, let's have some type of a game plan in
Right.
place.
At
High
least
blood
a game
pressure,
plan. Right.
right?
And
Mm-hmm.
I'm on my own. So for me, I look at it as, my family, a couple of the members of my family, they still kind of chuck up. They're like, "Oh, Kim, look at you, Mrs. Preparedness." And I'm like, "Indeed." And when something
Indeed.
happens, who are you calling?
Okay, so I sell
And I'm
insurance.
gonna I'm gonna say I can't help you because this has to
Yeah.
be sustained.
We're just coming to your house. I love that one.
Right. And I'm like, no,
No.
no, I have enough for me for
I
you
asked
some of
now,
the
what are
time.
you bringing?
Right.
What
And
are you
it's
bringing?
interesting though because they were teasing that, not in a bad way, but
Right.
I also know that they're not thinking of it as seriously as they should. We
Right.
have power outages here. We have tornadoes. We have blizzards. We get it
Yeah.
all where I live. And
Hmm.
sometimes we will have power outages that it could last a few hours. And one time we didn't have power for 5 days.
Yeah.
So, maybe the
You're
neighbor
doing fine. Yeah. And that's what, so the world of preparedness, like I never meant to be in the world of preparedness. I just grew up country
me
and
too.
that's what I do. And then I wrote these books and they're like, oh, you're a survivalist. I'm like, I am. Okay, well, I
So
guess,
yeah,
whatever.
that's how I've always
Right.
been. To me, it's
But
common sense.
it could be that personal disaster. I mean, you just lost
Right.
your job. That's a personal disaster. How are you going to eat and pay bills?
Really good example. Really good example. Anything can happen. I had, and this is just me personally, within the last 6 months, I had three big things that happened that took a large chunk of any money I had saved.
Hmm.
Because sometimes life kicks you in the face.
In the face.
And this breaks and that breaks, and it's 3 grand here, 2 grand there, and you're
Yes.
going, oh my gosh, oh my
Uh,
gosh. And then and then my family's like, well, do you need this? And everybody's always like, well, bring food. I'm like, no, I have plenty of food.
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good.
I didn't have to grocery shop for
Right?
2 months. I'm good.
Yeah.
And I
You
was
know,
so thankful
mm,
because that's an emergency.
that's the personal emergency.
Right.
You could have a married couple. One person gets injured. They're in the
Right.
hospital. Now
Right.
you have hospital bills, all of this money just going crazy. At least you're going to be fed. At least you're
Right.
going to be taken care of. And
So
so I
yeah, and
always bring
I
it
always
back,
have enough food for me and my dog.
right? I always bring it back to insurance. I'm like, so you own a home. Do you insure that home? Why?
Right. In
Because
case of an
something might
emergency.
come along to mess up your home. And you
Right.
want your home put back to where it was before that happened to you. So you buy an insurance policy. When you drive in your vehicle, do you have a spare tire in the back?
Right. Yeah. People don't think about it.
Why?
Right.
Why? Why would you have a spare tire in the back if you're not worried about it? Because nothing's going to ever happen to you. Right? No, you got your spare. So yeah, I have a go bag because if I have to walk out of my house with nothing, I'm gonna know at least I have my essentials taken care of. I can
Right.
survive
Now,
for
do you
3 days.
have, because we got to get ready to wrap up here. Time has flown.
Yeah,
I could talk about this stuff for a long. We're gonna have to have you back
yeah.
on.
Okay.
We're gonna have to
So
have you back on. So I want to know, if do you have on your website or anything? Do you have like a list, a general list that folks
yes,
could? Okay, if you could
yeah,
share that, where people can find you and all your good stuff and your books and all of that.
yeah. So changingearthseries.com. Changingearthseries.com has everything that's Sarah. You can sign up to my newsletter, and I have a prequel to my books that's available for free. Plus, you get the Go Bag download list of like things you should have in your Go Bag as a little bonus. You can become a subscriber. If you can become a paid subscriber, you get access to all of my back archives because I've gone through every single chapter of every book that I've written and picked out the factual information out of it. And then we talk about it. It's like building shelters, being a leader, herbal remedies, right? I've done every single chapter of every book that I've written. So they can go over there. Change It Earth series. I got links to my Twitter and, the Facebook, all those goodies. Plus my podcast. That's the audio drama. which is a ton of fun. It's like a 50s radio show where we bring the stories to life in that format, which is really fun. And then, of course, all the novels, they're available on Amazon. They're available on Kindle, but you can get all the links from changingearthseries.com.
Okay. Well, Sarah, as we close out the show, I ask all of my guests to please toss out a nugget of hope for the listeners. So what would your nugget of hope be today?
Well, I always say dream, survive, and thrive, because you can't get too wrapped up in your preparation that you lose sight of where you are right now. Right? You can't get so
Point.
wrapped up in your being aware in a parking lot, all of these things, that you're not living in the moment and enjoying everything that God has given us.
Right. What a good point. What a good point, and a way to round out the show. Perfect.
Thank you.
Awesome.
It's been fun. Yeah. I really enjoyed meeting you.
I have enjoyed having you on, and I have to have you on again because there's so many more things we can talk about.
Yes. We could delve deep.
More things we could talk about. This has been a true blessing. So thank you for being my guest today.
You got it.
Everybody out there, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Let Fear Bounce. New episodes are uploaded every Wednesday, folks, on your favorite listening platforms and on YouTube if you want to see our beautiful faces. So be sure when you're on there to like, subscribe, and share so we can keep these nuggets getting tossed out there into the world for more people to benefit. I am Kim Langling, the host of Let Fear Bounce. Everybody be well, stay well, and above all, be blessed.
Kindness. It's simple, powerful, and free. Yet, it holds the extraordinary ability to change someone's day or even their life. Order your copy of Nuggets of Hope, Cultivate Kindness on Amazon.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Let Fear Bounce. New episodes drop each week, folks, on YouTube and Spotify and most listening platforms. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and do all the things. So until next time, folks, take a deep breath, be kind to yourself, and as always, let fear bounce.